Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. All right. All right. Baby. But never
Good
with the
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Amazing Grace Sports Network.
Here once again, doing it up to a little bit of James Brown. I got the feeling. I got the power. I got the feeling. I got soul. And I'm super bad. Here we are once again on today's Thursday, February 16th, in the 2023 year of our Lord Jesus Christ. We are here talking about the NBA Thursday. So that means we're talking about the Western Conference. We're going to get it done. So what do we have here? Anything you want to add here before we start off? Anything that you've noticed in the NBA that's has struck you?
No, just a lot of movement for the teams that want to win something.
Well, let's get started. We got the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs traveled. They traveled to Charlotte, North Carolina, to visit those buzzing Hornets. Bzzz. Yeah, those Hornets are tough. You have one team that has won 14 games. That would be the Spurs, playing another team that has won 17 games. That would be the Hornets. And these two teams actually went at it. I watched some of the highlights, and it was very competitive. And the Hornets won 120 to 110, 120 to 110. It was actually a very competitive game. I watched some of it. And there's a guy named Mark West. We're going to talk about him later, who plays for the Charlotte Hornets, who's making waves. Mark Williams. And you might want to watch this guy. He moves really good. And I think he was a former teammate of Jason Tatum back in when they played on a high school team, a high school prep team back in St. Louis. And this guy is pretty good. Let's start off with those San Antonio Spurs with that Hall of Fame coach named Greg Popovich, who's Hall of Fame coach, no fame. It doesn't matter. You better have you some freaking players, or else it doesn't matter who you are.
Look, leave him alone, man.
Zach Collins.
Leave him alone.
The starters were Zach Collins, Jeremy Sochan, Keita Bates-Diop, Keldon Johnson, and Malachi Brandon. Now, Zach Collins played 32 minutes, gave him 14 points. He was 5 from 11. He wasn't that bad. Jeremy Sochan played 32 minutes. He was only 3 for 12. That was bad. And he only gave him 6 points. Keita Bates-Diop played 28 minutes, 5 for 13 for 12 points. Keldon Johnson, that's the big gun, 35 minutes. He was 6 for 20. It's not going to win you many games. Okay. 21 points. 21 points. Okay. 6 for 20, 21 points. 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. 8 of 9 from the free throws. Surprisingly, they did let him go to the free throw line. And Malachi Branham. Malachi had played 33 minutes, was 10 for 14 for 23 points. The bench gave them 34 points, most notably from Doug McDermott, who gave him 17, and Devontae Graham, who gave him 10. But whatever they gave him was not enough because they lost by 10. They did give him 34, but it was not enough because the Charlotte Hornets, led by LaMelo Ball. Yes, LaMelo Ball is 28 points. Terry Rozier did not play. He was missing in action, so they missed 21 points of his. But I don't think they really needed him because P.J. Washington filled in and gave him 22 points in 32 minutes. Gordon Hayward. Yes, another Gordon Hayward signing. Played 32 minutes. Actually shot the ball 10 times. A whole 10 times. And he had 16 points. Then you had Mark Williams. Mark Williams was 5 for 11. He's a center. He gave him 12 points, but he blocks shots. He runs the court. He gets you points. This guy is an athletic big man. He's like Robert Williams before Robert Williams had this knee injury. He is that type of guy. He's a human jumping jack. He can get up and down the floor, and he has better stamina than Robert Williams did. Dennis Smith Jr. started in place of Terry Rozier. He gave him 31 minutes and 10 points, not too much there. And LaMelo Ball, 10 for 26 for 28 points, not too far away from his average of 23. They got 32 points from the bench, Civil Melhalik gave him 12, and Bryce McGowan gave him 11. And that was the game for San Antonio and the Charlotte Hornets. What do we got?
Yeah. We got Indiana Pacers, and we have the Chicago Bulls.
We got a shock alert on this one.
Bet on. If you bet on, let's see, where we at?
If you bet on Chicago, you
bet
lost.
On the Bulls. If you bet on the Bulls, you lost.
You lost.
Pacers won 117 to 113. Chicago went all the way to Indiana to lose a game. Let's see what we got here. Mr. Patrick Williams.
Oh my gosh.
9 minutes, 5 of 10 for shooting, 11 points.
11 points.
Mr. Nikola Vucevic, 37
Vucevic.
minutes.
Nikola Vucevic. This guy's name, you say that you get to Chicago every week. Every week you get Chicago, and this guy, Vucevic. Vucevic. You should have Vucevic down in your sleep by now.
Vucevic. Alex Caruso, 30 minutes, 2 for 5. He shot 5 shots. He get 5 points. 5 shots, 5 points.
5 shots.
Hey, Mr. Zach LaVine, 43 minutes. Jesus Christmas. 10 of 23 shooting. He had 35 points. He might as well. He shot enough.
He shot enough.
And Mr. Ao Dosunmu. Jesus, all these names.
I think it's Dosunmu. Dosunmu.
43 minutes.
He's a guy.
43 minutes, 6 for 12 shooting, 15.
He's a long, tall guard. He has a lot of potential. I don't know if he's going to get it done on Chicago, though. Yeah, the bench gave him 24 points.
Then we came off the bench.
Oh, wait a second. No, they gave him more.
Gave him 25.
They had 28 points.
25, and Drummond gave him 3 points. So
I know.
For the 3 guys that sat on the bench.
Yeah, decided not to play them.
Well, let's see what Indiana did.
What did Indiana? Now Indiana's exciting. They were 1-9 in the last 10, so now they're 2-8 in the last 10.
Oh my God! Aaron Nesmith gave him 34 minutes, 7 of 12.
Yes,
21 points.
Aaron.
Mr. Turner, Miles Turner. Miles Turner gave him 36 minutes, 6 for 15 shooting, gave him 17 points. Mr. T.J. McConnell.
Timothy.
Gave him 21 minutes, 0 for 3 field goals, 0 for 1 3-pointers, 2 of 2 foul shots.
They didn't give him too many. They didn't let him shoot the ball enough.
Tyrese Haliburton, 35 minutes, 5 of 11 shooting, 1 for 2 3-pointers, 5 of 5 to the foul line. He gave him 16 points.
That's right,
Mr. Buddy
James.
Hield.
Buddy Hield.
28 minutes, 8 of 12, 6 for 10 3-pointers, 5 of 5 foul shots. He gave him 27 points.
You know, Buddy's name is Shavano. Shavano Hield.
Yes. Shavano. Hey, Buddy's easier. Mr. Benedict Mathurin gave him 14 points off the bench with 23 minutes. And Mr. Chris Duarte, 20 minutes, 5 of 11 for 14 points. And they got another 6 points for everybody else. So
that was it.
34 points.
34 points total. Now,
all done.
Now the Bulls had lost 4 straight before this game, and the Pacers had lost 5th straight, had lost 5 straight. So the Pacers end their streak at 5, and the Bulls, they're at 5 now since they lost this game. Just one of those things. Sorry, Chicago. Your sports teams suck. They really do. The Bears are one of the worst teams in football. The Bulls are one of the worst teams in basketball. What do we got? Chicago White Sox and the Cubs. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to a city that has a team that knows how to win. Philadelphia. Philadelphia took on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's right, they hosted the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they won 118 to 112. 118 to 112. The 76ers took the game. Now, this game was not very close in the beginning. Philadelphia had a 25-point lead in the second quarter. They were cruising along. Cavaliers looked like they can do nothing right. And then the Cavaliers made a rush at the end, but they couldn't pull it off. So let's start off. What happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers? Well, Evan Mobley is back in the starting lineup, and he's getting his feet underneath him. Evan Mobley played 36 minutes, 9 for 19 for 23 points. Yeah, Mr. Isaac Okoro, he played 19 minutes. I don't know what that is about. If you're going to start the guy playing, but maybe something happened. He played 19 minutes, 2 for 6. Only took 6 shots for 5 points. Jarrett Allen, a mainstay for Cleveland. He's been there all year. He's the center. 38 minutes, 5 for 6, 12 points. Now, Darius Garland, he's one of the big guns. 43 minutes, 10 for 14. You got to love shooting like that. 10 for 14, 27 points. And Donovan Mitchell had a subpar game, even though they played him 42 minutes. He was 11 for 24. 4 for 11 from the three-point line, just couldn't find it. He ended up with 33 points. They got 12 points from the bench, divided among 5 people, so we won't even go into that. Let's go to the Philadelphia 76ers, who jumped out to a middle lead in the second quarter and then had to fight at the end to get it done. Yet Anthony Leon Tucker, also known as PJ, he played 21 minutes, was 4 for 5. Big scoring game for PJ. He had 10 points because he usually averages 3. Here's a starter who averages 3 points a game, and you're wondering why, I'm sure. And that's over my pay grade. I don't think I can answer that. Tobias Harris played 35 minutes. He had 13 points. Joel Embiid, who is hurting for certain. Bad knees, bad neck, bad back, bad hips, bad afro. 39 minutes, was 9 for 21. For 29 points. James Harden, Mr. Harden, who always jumps out hot, and then cools down later. Yeah, he jumped out. He was killing them, I'll tell you. Played 38 minutes. Ended up 5 for 11 for 19 points. And DeAnthony Melton played 34 minutes and gave him 17 points. They got 30 points from the bench. Tyrese Maxey held it down by coming in and giving them 16. And Philadelphia manages to win this game. Even though Cleveland scored 42, outscored them 42 to 31 in the fourth quarter, they lost by 6. That's how far down Cleveland was. Too bad, Cleveland. Better luck next time.
Your favorite team, New York Knicks, went down to Atlanta
and won.
You think Atlanta won? You lost.
Because the Knicks were not playing at home.
101. That's it. They only don't.
122 to 101. The Knicks were not playing at home, and when they don't play at home, man, you better watch out.
They win.
They win.
Maybe they make all their. Yeah, they win. They had to put all their games on the road. No home games.
There's no hope. At home, they don't stand a chance.
Mr. Julius Randle. Mr. Julius Randle's 35 minutes, 9 for 19 shooting. He gave him 25 points.
Plus
Mr.
20.
Jericho Sims. 22 minutes, 1 for 2 shooting.
Jericho, blow your horn.
2 points. 22 minutes. What's going on with Jericho? Mr. Jalen Brunson. Mr. Jalen Brunson gave him 38 minutes, 10 for 19 shooting. 7 for 8 at the field goal. At the foul line, he gave him 28 points. Not too bad. Mr. Barrett, R.J. Barrett, 32 minutes, 6 of 16 shooting, gave him 17 points. And Mr. Grimes, Mr. Quentin Grimes. 24 minutes, 2 of 7 field goal and 6 points. Oh, boy.
6 points.
Mr. Obi Toppin came off the bench, 13 minutes, 4 of 7 shooting, game 11 points. Mr. Quickly, Emmanuel Quickly, 24 minutes, 5 of 11, gave him 14 points. And Mr. Hart,
Mr. Josh Hart,
24 minutes, 5 of 9 shooting, gave him 13 points.
Derrick Rose. Now, Derrick Rose, I can see his name right underneath there. Did not play. Coach's decision. He's getting a lot of rest.
Yeah.
He'll be ready for the playoffs.
Maybe they rest him for something.
Yeah, for the playoffs. He'll be ready for the playoffs, Derrick Rose.
There we go. See what Atlanta did. Mr. John Collins, 22 minutes, 2 for 8 shooting for 8 points. All right,
That's disgusting.
John. Come on. Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter gave him 29 minutes, 9 for 15 shooting, 20 points. Clinton Capella, 26 minutes, 5 of 8 shooting for 10 points. Trae Young, 32 minutes, 4 of 14 for 19 points.
19 points. That ain't going to get it done.
And Mr. Murray, DeJounte Murray, 34 minutes, 3 of 12 shooting for 6 points. Oh, my God. And they had a full bench.
Full bench. Got 38 points from the bench. 38 points from the bench, but it didn't matter. Not at all. Not at all.
Atlanta loses to New York Knicks.
The New York Knicks win again on the road. Good luck with that, New York. Now, Detroit came into the Boston Garden last night to take on the league-leading Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics with the best team in the NBA. In Detroit, well, they don't have the worst team, but they're pretty far down there. Basically had no chance. And you're right. No chance at all. The Celtics won 127 to 109. 127 to 109. Hold on just a second here. I just have to close my window. The guy next door with the Ferrari has started up his car. He thinks everybody wants to hear his exhaust system. Listen. Yeah, we can't have that type of noise. That's disturbing. I don't care if you have a Dom Ferrari. Put a muffler on it. Freaking idiot. Okay, we're back. Detroit. Bojan Bogdanovic. Let's just start off with Detroit. Bojan had 28 points. He was shooting the lights out the ball. 12 for 17. I mean, where's Peyton Pritchard? What's Peyton Pritchard supposed to be doing? Get Bojan. I'd rather have Bojan any day. And he led the Pistons with 28 points. 12 for 17, played 33 minutes. Then you had Mr. Stewart, 26 minutes for 14 points. Jalen Duren. Yeah, this guy is I think I heard he's the youngest player in the league. Well, maybe they should just sit him on the bench and let him grow up. He played 25 minutes and got to 2 points. Why waste his time in the NBA right now? Let him learn some things. He's not going to learn it right now in the NBA. Maybe, I don't know. He's not ready. And he's just taking up time on your squad there. Mr. Ivy, Jaden Ivy, 7 for 13, 17 points. 19 years old. He's not ready for this. He's out there giving you 2 points, 4 points, 10 points a game. He's probably learning more things bad than he's learning good. You know, sometimes you just need to let them watch. Let them watch. Let them see how the NBA is played.
Yeah.
So when they're ready to play it physically and mentally, they can actually get into the game and have some success. There's nothing worse than not having success at something that you're trying to do. Killian Hayes not having a very good year. 30 minutes, 3 for 11, and he had 10 points. And he's only averaging 10 points, so he hit his average, and he should be happy, I guess we should say. Then we have Mr. James Wiseman. James Wiseman just came over from Golden State in the trade, and he's a 7-footer. He was drafted in 2020. Second pick in the draft back in 2020. Didn't get much playing time out there because of Kevon Looney and Draymond Green. He was behind them, and they don't really like to play a big lineup. Golden State doesn't. So he was not going to get that much time. But now that he's with Detroit, he's proven to be a commodity of some sort. He was 5 for 9 in 24 minutes for 11 points. Then you had Hamidou Diallo. Hamidou Diallo also came off the bench and gave him 10 points. And that was it for the Pistons. For the Celtics, again, without Jaylen Brown, after playing a game yesterday in Milwaukee. So this is a back-to-back. They're playing the back-to-back, and thank gosh for them, thank goodness for them, their back-to-back was against the Detroit Pistons. Because it could have been worse. Now, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin started the game. He played 29 minutes, 4 for 10. Not bad, 9 points. Well, it's better than his average of 5. Jason Tatum had to come to the rescue, played 34 minutes, 15 for 24. Much better than 50%. That is a good number. 6 for 10 from the three-point line, 38 points. Al Horford. Now, I can't figure this out. Al Horford, 28 minutes, 4 for 9, had 11 points, but he's a plus 10. When he was out there, apparently defense was being played. He had a plus 10 while he was out there. Marcus Smart had a plus 9 with his 9 points. And Derek White, who played 27 minutes, the least amount of minutes of all of them, had a plus 12 to go along with his 11 points. They got 25 points from Malcolm Brogdon and oh my gosh, 35, 39, 44 points total from the bench. So the Celtics made short work of the Detroit Pistons last night on the heels of a back-to-back game and still lead the league. The league's going to have a tough time catching them. And this is without Robert Williams or Jaylen Brown playing last night. Unbelievable.
Yeah. The rotations are pretty good. Everybody's doing what they need to do. So as long as they maintain, got to stay.
That rotation is going to shorten up in the playoffs. Yeah, that rotation is going to shorten up in the playoffs. So you need that other one big gun. And that's what the playoffs are, a different animal.
Yeah. For sure. The second half, they'll pick it up. All right, we got Miami Heat and Brooklyn Nets. If you bet on Miami, you lose. Brooklyn
you lost.
116 to 105. Let's see what Miami had cooking. Jimmy Butler played 32 minutes, 4 for 11. He shot 11 times. Jimmy?
I think Jimmy is
What's going on?
Jimmy's worn down, baby. The end is coming in Miami for him.
Man. Yeah. Khalid Martin, 32 minutes, 6 of 11 for 13 points. Mr. Bam Adebayo, 38 minutes, 10 of 19 shooting for 24 points, not bad. Mr. Gabe Vincent, 35 minutes, 6 of 14 for 21 points. And Mr. Max Struss, 39 minutes, 7 of 15 shooting for 18 points. The bench totaled 16 points, and they got 105, but not enough to win. Let's see what the Nets had going on. Mr. Dorian Finney-Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Once a very highly thought of person when he was with Dallas last year. Now he's giving him 2 points.
He only had 20 minutes. 0 for 4. Wow. And he scored 2 points.
2 points.
Mr. Johnson, Cameron Johnson. Yeah, that's a help. Cameron Johnson, 34 minutes, 6 of 14 shooting. He gave him 18 points. But Mr. Bridges, Mikal Bridges, gave him 45 points. 36 minutes, 7-24 shooting for 45 points, the high score of the game. Mr. Nick Claxton, 25 minutes, 2 for 4 shooting for 4 points. And Mr. Spencer Dinwiddie, 36 minutes, 3 of 4 for 9 points. And he had Mr. Cam Thompson came off the bench, gave him 19. And what was that 18, 19, 32
17, 19, 38 points total.
32 points.
38. They got
38 points for the bench.
Ben Simmons, there was a Ben Simmons sighting. Yeah. He was 3 for 7. He was 3. Was he? No, he was 1-2. 1 for 2 points.
Hey, for
Ben.
$35 million, that's all good.
Yeah. 20 minutes. Yeah. Philadelphia really knows how to. Philadelphia really knows how to mess up the draft. He was the #1 draft pick, Markelle Fultz. I mean, Joel, you need to get out of Philadelphia, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I mean that is fast. That means like as of yesterday, because Philadelphia is only going to screw up. Whatever management is in charge, if the general manager knows nothing about what he's doing, he can't do anything. So the next game, we had the Utah Jazz traveling to the Memphis, Tennessee. That's not Graceland. It's not Nashville. It's Memphis. That's right. Memphis is known for Beale Street, which was a honky-tonk type of place. A little swanky down there. Lots of music and lots of drinking, and you can probably guess what else. Anyway, the Jazz, they originally came from Louisiana. So this is two teams that were made for each other. Louisiana, New Orleans, and Memphis. Anyway, the Jazz went to Memphis and lost 117-111. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 117-111. The sports fans everywhere. The Jazz just couldn't get it done. Now, they're not in first place anyway. They're 29-31, and they haven't been too good over the last 10 games. They've been pretty bad. I'll even tell you what they are. Nope, not there. But they were expecting a different outcome, and they didn't get it. They were without Lauri Markkanen, so they started Kelly Olynyk. And Kelly Olynyk, not bad. He came out the same year that Giannis did. Oh, yeah, that's right. And he was 9 for 16, 28 points. Then you had Walker Kessler. Steady Walker Kessler. 33 minutes, 10 points. Jordan Clarkson heated it up at the end. Now, this game was not a close game, but the Jazz made a run for it at the end. He was 8 for 21 and gave him 20 points. Then you had Colin Sexton. I don't know what happened to Colin, but it couldn't have been good. He only played 4 minutes, was 0 for 2, and had 0 points. And Ochai Agbaji. I knew I was going to have to focus on that name. Played 39 minutes, 7 for 12, and 17 points. They got 15 points from Taylor. It's a new name. There's so many Jalens spelled in, we don't know, a dozen different ways. This guy's name is Taylor Horton Tucker. Came off the bench and gave him 15. The other 4 players combined to give him 21, and it was not enough for the Utah Jazz because the Memphis Grizzlies took care of business. Braden Clark, 31 minutes, 8 points. Jaren Jackson, 31 minutes, 26 points. When Jackson scores 20 points, they're going to win. Dylan Brooks, Mr. Nasty, 32 minutes, 11 points. Ja Morant, 32 minutes, 20 points. And Desmond Bane played 32 minutes for 24 points. They got, 13, 19, 28 points from the bench, most notably from Santi Aldama, who I watched some of the highlights. This guy's got skills. Santi Aldama, I think he's wasting his time on this team. They're too young. He needs to be with a team that he can add a little youth to, but he also has experience from the European League. So he's experienced, whereas these guys are just jacking up the ball. Should be on another team like the Celtics.
Yeah. We can't get everybody. We try. We can't get
Give me Bojan.
There we go. That'll be a quick fix.
Oh,
we got
man.
Houston Rockets went on down to Oklahoma City Thunder and found out that they're going to get a spanking. 96-133.
No way.
Houston loses with that 13-45 record. You lose.
No.
You lose. Let's see. Mr. Jabari Smith Jr., 29 minutes, 4 of 8 field goals for 15 points. Mr. Martin Jr., Kenyon Martin Jr., 28 minutes.
Kenyon Martin Jr.
28 minutes, 1 for 9 for 4 points. Mr. Jayshawn Tate, 19 minutes, 4 of 7 shooting for 11 points. And Mr. Segun, Alperen Segun, 28
I thought I was going to
minutes.
get you on the Jay Sean, but you got through Jay Sean and then blew on Alperen Sigan.
Alperen, 22 minutes, 4 for 12 shooting, 8 points. Mr. Green, Jalen Green, 16 minutes, 3 of 10 shooting for 14 points. And the bench didn't do too much work.
Yeah, they did. They gave 44 points.
Total. Did
They
enough.
gave 44 points. That means the starters only scored 52.
So they should have let the bench start and let the starters come off the bench.
Come off the bench.
Bring the bench in. Bench had more time. They could have did a little more damage.
They probably could have won the game.
They probably could have won the game. But Oklahoma, they did their thing. They did their things. We have the two Williams. We got Jalen Williams, 26 minutes, 3 of 9 for 8 points. And we have Jalen Williams, 22 minutes, 5 of 7 for 13 points. And we have Shai Gilgeous Alexander, 29 minutes, 8 of 16, shooting 29, big 29 points. We have Josh Giddey, 25 minutes, 5 of 10, shooting for 13 points. And we have Mr. Dort. Lugatz. 24 minutes, 5 of 9, shooting for 15 points.
Gotta love it. Lugatz.
Hey,
55 points from the bench.
The bench did some work.
They were working, baby.
Yeah, and everybody got a little piece of the pie. And you know what? Look at their average minutes. It's like 29 minutes with starters. They're not even working the starters too hard.
You know, Joe Mazzulla, who was named the head coach, they took the interim tag off him for the Celtics today. He's now the head coach of the Celtics. Needs to learn this. I mean, there's no way Tatum should be playing 34 minutes going against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
Sit his butt down, rest him. You got 20 more games left. Okay? Yeah. Now it's the time to start shutting them down a little bit and getting them less minutes. Just coast through a game and win it at the end. Go Houston. The next game we have for you is the Mavericks traveling to Denver, the Mile High City, to take on the Nuggets. Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving and Luka. Oh, Kyrie didn't play. Already. Things are going bad in Dallas. That's right. Kyrie says he had lower back tightness or stiffness or inflammation, and he didn't play. So it's just up to Luka once again to try to win the game, and he wasn't able to do that. Well, the Nuggets improved. They have Nikola Jokic, and we'll get to that. But let's just start off with the Mavericks first. Reggie Bullock, is he the longest tenured person on this team? He might be. Reggie Bullock was there for, 3 points. He played 30 minutes, and he got you 3 points.
31. He's 31 years old, man. He's doing all right.
You know, there's a place on that thing called the bench that he could come off of. I'm sure there must be somebody they could, we'll get to that later. Okay. Dwight Powell, another guy who's, okay, you think of a word for something that is not really practical or applicable to the situation, and that would be Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell is
he's 31 years old too.
Yep. 8 points, 21 minutes. Yeah. He was 4 for 4, but usually they give him dunks and layups, and after that he has no chance whatsoever of scoring. Luka Doncic, 12 for 22, 35 minutes, 12 for 22 for 37 points. Frank Ntilikina, the guy who was drafted by Mr. Jackson, Phil Jackson, in his sleep because he didn't even watch him work out. He slept through his workout, but he drafted him anyway. He played 24 minutes and gave you 4 points. So let's see. You have 3 starters that gave you 3, 8, and 4. Not to be outdone, though. There's a Josh Green, their other starter. He played 29 minutes, was 2 for 8, and he gave you 6 points.
Wow.
So between 4 of your starters, you got 21 points total. You can't possibly expect to win. And they didn't. Well, good thing Christian Wood was coming off the bench. Yes, Christian Wood has been a boost to the Mavericks all season. He has shown determination, verb. He has shown grit, and he has shown perseverance. He came off the bench 6 for 13 for 18 points. There was a JaVale McGee sighting. Yes, JaVale McGee is still in the league. He chipped in 5. McKinley Wright the fourth came off the bench 4 for 4 for field goals. Maybe he should be starting. Just a suggestion. For 11 points. Anthony Lawson, was in the game 12 minutes, and he got them 10. And for the Denver Nuggets, who are leading the West, I believe they're leading the West, aren't they? Well, we'll get to that a little bit later when we round it up. Bruce Bowen, 29 minutes, 5 for 10 for 10 points. Vlatko Cancar. I expect a lot out of this guy. Let me just get this thing out the way. Vlatko Cancar. We have a message. We give you the Mavericks. No, we won't. Just blocking us. You just put our heads to the side so we can see. No, we can't do that. Vlatko Cancar gave him 12 points. Michael Porter Jr., 33 minutes, 8 for 16, 22 points. Nikola Jokic, who was the MVP last year. That's right. NBA's MVP last year. Won't be winning it this year. And having a down year, 34 minutes for 14 points. And Contavious Caldwell Pope played 32 minutes and gave him 14. Jeff Green. Yes, Jeff Green. Jeff Green, who was drafted by the Celtics in 2007, traded to the Seattle Supersonics at the time, who would become the OKC Thunder, traded to them in order to get Ray Allen for that championship team of 2008. Then Jeff Green came back. He came back to the Celtics in 2011 and played there to 2015. And since then, he's been on 7 other teams. So he's been making the horn around the NBA. He chipped in 24 points for the Denver Nuggets, carried them, and that was the name of that tune. Congratulations to Jeff Green for still being in the league. Let's see, 2008, 15 years later. Who knew? He was the guy who had the heart problem, and they had to sit him down for a year. Yeah. 15 years later, he's still collecting the check. Hopefully it's, what's the league minimum? Like $1 million or $2 million now?
Minimum? No, there's some people that are making less than that.
Oh, okay.
All right, our last game of the day is New Orleans Pelicans and the Lakers. New Orleans went to L.A., and L.A. held down their floor. They won 120-102. Let's see what the Pelicans had going on.
Not much.
I guess not. Mr. Brandon Ingram gave him 34 minutes, 10 of 21 shooting for 25 points. Not bad.
Not bad.
Mr. Herbert Jones, 30 minutes, 5 of 9 shooting for 11 points. Mr. Jonas Valanciunas.
What's this? Valanciunas.
Okay, that sounds good. Look, 31 minutes.
That'll do.
6 of 9 field goals, 12 points. Mr. C.J. McCollum.
Christian McCollum.
8 of 16 shooting for 22 points. Go on, man. Mr. Murphy, Trey Murphy III, 20 minutes, 0 for 6 field goals for 2 points. Oh, boy, you got to do better than that. Mm-hmm. We had Mr. Hernan Gomez.
Herman Gomez. Yep.
Hernan Gomez.
Willie Hernan Gomez. He was a New York
17 minutes, 5 of 7 shooting for 14 points. The bench gave him 30 points, and they lose.
They lost
to LA.
No Zion Williamson.
Yeah, they're holding everybody back for the second half after the All-Star game.
Good luck with that.
There we go. Anthony Davis gave LA 30 minutes, 13 for 17, shooting for 28 points. Mr. Jared Vanderbilt, 28 minutes, 3 for 3 for 6 points. Mr. LeBron James gave him 29 minutes, 7 for 14 shooting. Mr. D'Angelo Russell,
0 for 5 from 3-point line.
James. Mr. D'Angelo Russell, 28 minutes, 5 for 12 shooting for 21 points. And then you have Mr. Beasley, Malik Beasley, 23 minutes, 3 for 9 shooting for 8 points. The bench gave him 36 points, and it was enough to win over the Pelicans.
Yeah, the Pelicans didn't have it.
No, not last night.
They didn't have it. So that wraps it up. Now we got the Western League. What now? Kevin Durant has not played yet.
No, he's still injured.
He's still injured? Okay.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been any changes from what I can tell so far. Let's go right to the standings here.
2 games. They have 2 games.
The Nuggets are on top, followed by the Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns, LA Clippers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the Nuggets, did they get anybody? Any Nuggets trades? Were there any trades to the Nuggets?
No.
They're going to run out of gas.
Yeah. 7 in the last 10. 3-game winning streak.
Well, no, I don't see any trades for them. Well, good luck to them. And then we have right behind them is Memphis. They're a young team. Now, the problem that I'm having with Memphis now is their character or their attitude. John Morant, the posse that he's traveling with, seems to be getting into arguments and discussions wherever he goes. First, he started with Shannon Sharp. Then he threatened in Indiana, some Indiana personnel, some of his traveling posse. It's going to deter away from his performance on the court.
It's going to cause a real disturbance one day. You can't bring the street into the game. You gotta make a decision. You gotta make a decision. You're coming out here, you're gonna play ball, or you're gonna hang out with your boys. You know, when you hang out with your boys, you stay there, hang out with your boys. You get on the road, start traveling with them, they're gonna cause you problems, and they don't care because it's not gonna be any money out of their pockets.
No, they're not losing anything. They don't stand to lose anything. And they're just going to go back to what they were doing, Ja. Listen, Ja, you probably got street in you. We all do. If you come from the city, we all got some street in us. But here's the deal, okay? You don't have to be what you once were. You're free to be who you want to be. You don't have to be what somebody thought you should have been. Yeah, you might have to leave a lot of what they think behind in order to grow. Because life is about growing. It's not being where you were at 5, just like where you were at 10, just like where you were at 15, just like where you were, you're probably 20, but you're not acting the way you did at 15. The key to life is to continue to grow through all stratospheres of life, not just the stratosphere you came up in, but to grow through all stratospheres of life. So, John, take a lesson, okay, and grow. We all have to do it. You're going to have to do it whether you like it or not. You can't stay where you are.
One thing about it, when you stop growing, you're dead.
You're dead. Sorry to tell you that, John, but you have no alternative. You either grow or die, and you see where this is going, okay?
It's going south. Real fast.
Third place, you got Sacramento Kings. A surprise to everybody after they traded away Tyrese Halliburton last year. But they're doing well. You got any words on Sacramento?
Keep up the good work, Sacramento. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
In top 6.
Sacramento had their team. Okay, we're gonna get some stats here. De'Aaron Fox is but the trade when they traded Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis has really kicked him into another gear. Sabonis is the second leading scorer on the team at 18 points. Then they got Kevin Huerter. He can shoot the lights out of the ball. They still have a steady, consistent presence with Harrison Barnes. And they got Malik Monk coming off the bench. They also have Keegan Murray now, who's doing a great job. So they have a team that can get them to the playoffs. If they are consistent into the playoffs, there's only 20-something games left. I think that we're hitting the 59, 58, 60, 58, 59, 60 mark for all the teams. So there's only 82 games left, 82 games in the season, which leaves them 20, 23, 24 games left in the season. So if these guys can hit their stride, they can be a tough out. De'Aaron Fox has not yet hit his stride. Okay? He hasn't hit it. Domantas Sabonis can carry a team. Kevin Huerter can shoot the lights out. Harrison Barnes, Malik Monk, they can be a tough out. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't want to be the team that has to play them. Also, and they can pull off the bench Matthew Dellavedova, a certified hatchet man in the NBA like Dylan Brooks, to try to rough up and hurt your star player. So there we go. Mm-hmm. That's my take out on these guys. Who's in fourth place here? Who do we got for fourth place?
Phoenix Suns.
Oh my gosh.
32 and 27. They popping. They coming up the rear.
7-3. And they got Devin Booker back, and now they are going to have Kevin Durant in another week or so.
With Kevin in, they're going to shoot straight to the top.
They're going to the top.
Denver's something to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, Denver's not going to be able to hold them off.
Not at all.
Nah, Denver's not deep enough. Nicola's having a bad year. It looks like it's worn down. He won the MVP 2 years in a row. Really put forth the effort, but he doesn't look the same this year. And that's the way it goes. He's worn down, and his team's not giving him enough help. Jamal Murray has never really fully recovered from his injury, so he's not been able to give the firepower, and they haven't been able to develop the firepower in the other parts of the team. So Denver, it's going to be a tough 20-something games left after the All-Star break, but I expect to see the Phoenix Suns at the top of that. Right behind them, the LA Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I'm really kind of like, I don't know if these guys can hold it. I mean, they're good to be in this position, but I don't know if their bodies are going to be able to hold it up.
They kind of bruised up, man. They've been in and out all season.
All season. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have been in and out all season. And see, when you look at their team, just give you an idea. I'll give you what their stats are. Paul George is leading them, but he's not banging it out. He's leading them 23 points. It's his average. Then you got Kawhi Leonard at 22, Norman Powell at 17, and you know you are in trouble when you have a 50 or 60-year-old guy named Marcus Morris, who is your fourth leading scorer. He's not really 50 or 60. He's 30 some odd years, but he's old enough to be an NBA player. And he should be not your fourth scorer, but he is. So you are in deep trouble. They traded away John Wall and Reggie Jackson, who were their fifth and sixth scorers. And they got Mason Plumlee. Erick Gordon was carrying that team. I don't see how they're going to continue to hold it up. I'm sure they'll be in the playoffs, but I'm not sure what that holds for them. And number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. When is Karl Anthony Towns due back?
Good question.
He's been out for like 3 months.
Well,
is he going to come
everybody,
back?
Everybody that's out right now ain't going back to
the latest on that he could return with 10 to 15 games left in the season. If they do, if Anthony comes back and he can play any like 80 to 85 to 90% of what he's capable of playing, you can expect to see the Memphis probably in the finals of the West, because Anthony Edwards has come into his own. Now they have Rudy Gobert. These guys could present a lot of problems. For anybody out there, a lot of problems. Who are the starting guards? D'Angelo, they just traded Jan, so they're going to be going with Mike Conley. They're going to ride Mike Conley and Jalen Norwell, which they could do. Luke Garza is a center. Austin Rivers is not going to be much of a help. Taurean Prince is a point forward. They're really going to be riding hard on, and this is going to be the weakest link of their team, Mike Conley. If Karl Anthony Towns come back, they are solidified up front at the top, from the center to the forward position. But I'm looking at what they have here as far as guards go. AJ Lawson, that might have to be the guy. That's the guy that they let D'Angelo Russell go so they can get AJ Lawson in there. Can he carry it? He's going to have to, because I don't think Austin Rivers can. You're going to have Mike Conley, Austin Rivers. You're going to need a young guy who can make something happen. Hopefully for them, it's going to be that guy. If he doesn't, they're in big trouble. Number 6, you got Dallas Mavericks, and we already talked about them with Kyrie Irving's bad back. How far can they go in the playoffs? Not far, because they have a lot of weak links. But coming into the All-Star game, they have 2 very good players, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. We'll see what happens. New Orleans Pelicans. They're going down fast. They're in 8th place. Golden State Warriors, not doing very good, 5-5 in their last 10 games because Steph Curry has not been there. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, well, they're just hanging around at 5-5 in the 10th spot. After that, you got the Utah Jazz, Portland Trail Blazers, Los Angeles Lakers are 14 games out of first place and just 2 games out of a playoff spot. San Antonio Spurs are 27, and the Houston Rockets are 27.5 games out of first place.
Go Houston! Go Houston!
Go San Antonio with your Hall of Fame coach, Greg Popovich. That's right. Yeah. Coach this, coach that. You better have you some darn players. Sorry about that, Mr. Popovich, but you know what? It's the players that make it. And I don't want to give them too much credit because they have to have direction. But yeah, you better have you. Where's Tim Duncan? He's not coming through that door. That's the reason why you are 27 games behind the first place team. Any parting shots? What do you think?
Huh?
Any parting shots? Any parting shots? What do you think of the NBA? What's going on? We're going to the All-Star break. Joel Embiid said he's not going to play because he's hurting.
A lot of them shouldn't play.
A lot of them shouldn't play.
Tatum shouldn't play.
No, he shouldn't.
Jalen shouldn't play. But
Sit down. Let these other guys get in there who haven't been playing that well this year.
Let the young guys get in there and do their thing, man. Really young
How
guys.
can you say that? Because Tatum's only 24.
I know, but he's an all-star.
Yeah, he's been carrying this freaking team. So
he balanced out. Him and Jalen balanced out well this year. Actually, last year they balanced out well. They can play better this year together than they did last year.
And they did last year. They didn't hit their stride last year till after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they went crazy then. But before that, they were a 500 team.
Yeah.
So
comfortably.
Well, it happens. Now, what else new in the world of sports?
Football's over.
Yep. Mike Tyson's not fighting right now, but he does have tigers.
He got tigers.
Football's over. Baseball's soon to come. And they're ramping it up in Boston. I heard Chris Sale is going to make some noise this year. Chris Sale is back in business and waiting to go, chomping at the bit. Yeah, I say the same
There it goes.
Well, congratulations to Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on the job well done, and to Andy Reid, one of the really good guys in the league who stands up for his players and really backs his players.
Well coached team.
Well coached team. The New England could learn a lot from Andy Reid. They really tried to keep Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill wanted $25 million guaranteed money. and they were trying to scramble those numbers. But Miami came to him and says, "We can give you 72 million guaranteed."
So what do you
and
do?
that was the name of that game. So it's not really Kansas City's fault that they couldn't get that for him, but they really tried to. They didn't just try to screw him over the way Bill Belichick did Malcolm Butler. Tried to make sure he didn't get paid. Yeah, because Malcolm Butler did an interview during the Super Bowl thing, found out he was benched because Bill Belichick did not want him to have a good game and wanted to knock down his value on the market. The same thing he did to Asante Samuel.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got a book coming out now to tell all.
Well, he can tell it all. Now, we already knew that he was healthy. Belichick sent him out there for one play on a punt return, and then made him stand on the sidelines with his family watching him stand there while the team got beat. If he was in there, that game the New England wins that game. Belichick sits him down just because he can.
Pride.
Not even pride.
Not
even pride. Just being a jerk. Just being a complete jerk. The way he has always been to his players. Same way he did Brady. Pushed him out the door for Cam Newton. Richard Seymour, Deion Branch, Mike Vrabel. The list goes on.
Yeah.
So the New England Patriot franchise, we want to know what's going on with Robert Kraft. Does he not know this? Because everyone else knows it. That this coach is just mishandling your player personnel. He's just screwing over your players that are there playing for your team. Kraft should be stepping up. Somebody has to do something there in New England, because it's like this guy can do whatever he wants to, whoever he wants, for whatever reason he wants, irregardless if the team wins or loses. He doesn't care. It's all about what he wants to do.
It's called abuse of power.
Abuse of power. And Kraft, where are you? Where are you, Robert? And that's what makes it special, because ESPN won't touch the subject. CBS won't touch the subject, but let's knock this damn subject out the park. We're not afraid to touch it. Where are you, Robert? Your players are getting abused. They don't even want to come. Nobody wants to come here. They're coming for the money, and then they're out just as quickly. And the attitude and morale on this team was so bad last season, you could see it. You could smell it. You could feel it in the air.
Yeah, they don't want to pay nobody either.
Well, if they do,
they use you up.
Yeah, as soon as they do pay you money, like he did Matthew Judon, he's restructuring your contract the very next season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's right. That's crazy. He's restructuring your contract. He's bringing you in and telling you have to take less within 1 year of signing you.
Yeah.
Well, nothing else on basketball, but there's always something on football. There's always a buzz around football. Amazing Grace Sports Network in beautiful Naples, Florida, and in beautiful Boston, Massachusetts. I am Clay Morris. That is Eric James, and we don't have sacred cows here. We touch every subject, and we touch it with our whole hand. We put our whole hand on the hot stove.
No running.
We're gonna get it done. Anything else you want to say in passing?
Guys, have a glorious weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Praise the Lord. See you next Tuesday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Say your prayers. Say your prayers, everyone. And pray for good stuff, like to be a better person, which I pray that for me all the time. One day I'm going to be better. Thank you very much for showing up. Remember, like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.